This is opening morning before the sun came up. There's 2 does feeding below us in the bowl. About 25 minutes later now, and you can see how strong the wind is blowing. It blew pretty much all day.
Well, guys, no buck yet, but we did just find us a little shed. Pretty chalky. It's been up here for a while, but still a cool find. Thank you, Lord. Oh, look at that big dent in it. It's a freak. Stumpy little bugger. Well, guys, we're just glassing. Just watched a group of hunters on the other side of the water drag a little buck into the back of their truck, so congrats to them. Let out a little hoop and holler when they finally got to the truck. And actually they had a pretty easy drag. I'm looking where they probably drug it 400 yards and mostly downhill and flat, so congrats to them. I think I had the GoPro on earlier when Caleb took a shot at a 3x3 buck, so we've seen quite a few deer, a lot of does. I don't know, probably 25 does, you think?
Yeah, if we're all different.
Yeah. Caleb said he's going to accidentally delete that shot of him missing that buck. Pretty sure he shot over it. He definitely was a clean miss, which is, I mean, if you're going to not have a good shot, a clean miss is certainly better than wounding an animal, so that's good. It was closer than we both thought it was. I ranged it afterwards. It was 206, and we both thought it was closer to 3, so just did a bad job kind of guesstimating the range. There was one other little tiny buck with that group. I couldn't tell if he was a spike or barely a 2x2. So those are the 2 bucks that we've seen. Wind finally died down. It's still raining. It's been raining all day, but right now it's pretty light. It's just barely sprinkling, but it's rained pretty steady a couple times. So we're just gonna keep working the steep side of the little knoll that we're on and check a couple pockets of trees and eventually work our way back up on top where we want to be for the evening hunt. Saw a bald eagle, pick up that shed, seen turkeys, seen deer, so it's been a good day. Hopefully the wind doesn't pick up too bad. It'll freeze up here because we're both pretty wet. Hanging out under this tree, having some lunch, trying to stay a little drier. Don't think we've seen anything since the last time I turned on the camera. Pulled pork in a pouch on a pita. Working on my alliteration. Caleb had jerky and also some pulled pork. And got a little trail mix too. Okay, now put the hammer on now.
I know, I'm just making sure.
Andrew shot his last buck, so you've seen this area before. Alright guys, I just glassed up 2 bucks. Right now they're on the private though. Let's see if we get lucky and they move off. Well guys, I'm glassing the bowl that we normally glass in the morning. This really isn't the best spot for the evening. I was in the better spot for the evening and had been there for an hour, and 2 other hunters just walked right through. I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt. I thought maybe they didn't see me, and at first I don't think they did, but as they were about a third of the way out into the big sage flat that I was looking, the one guy looked back and I know for sure he saw me, and they just proceeded to keep walking. I mean, look, it's public land and they've got just as much right to be there as I do. I don't want to sound all whiny and complaining, but I just wouldn't do that. If I came across a ridge and I saw a guy posted up watching a flat, I would never walk through that. But I guess that's just me. So anyway, we're at a different spot. Got about 25 minutes of daylight left. This is a spot that last year I found a little spike shed. And lo and behold, I mean literally within 5 feet of where I found the one last year, here's another one. It's got a little brow tine on it, which is cool for a spiker. Look at that little curl there. So thank you, Lord, for helping us to find that. So obviously that's a good thing that I had to move spots or I wouldn't have found that, but I'd rather sat in that upper bowl than find that spike shed. But anyway, thank you, Lord, for the find. And we'll sit here another 25 minutes, see if we see any deer come out. Good morning, guys. Got 2 does kind of right below me. 5 does across the bowl to the left, and 1 little buck working his way towards me. Does down below me are getting a little nervous because there's a truck on the road down to my left. So hopefully they don't blow this buck out. Well, that's twice. These 2 other hunters came up from the road and just busted that buck out of here, blew him over on the other side. Man, I just don't get it. I'm parked down there at the bottom. This is not a big area. If I pulled back here, and I've had this happen, if I pulled back here and there was already a truck back here, I would just turn around and drive away. Well, guys, that's it for this morning's hunt. I've got to work today, so I only came out for first 2 hours of daylight. And depending upon how productive the day is, I may be able to get back up here. So that's the second time this season that I've been posted up watching an area and I had bucks feeding towards me, and then hunters walked right through and blew them out. I've had that happen before, but I don't think I've ever had it happen twice back to back, 2 days in a row. When I got up on the very top flat up there, I briefly saw another buck, nice buck. It was either a 4x4 or a 4x3. I couldn't tell on the one front tine if it hooked out again. It was kind of a crabby claw on the other side. And I saw him at about 205, 210 yards. But it would have been an offhand shot. I couldn't get my bipod down. I couldn't lay down prone or anything, just based on the angle and how tall the sagebrush was that I was in. And Annie was kind of skylined, and so I'm just not comfortable taking that shot. I saw where he bedded, and I thought about making a play on him after a while, after he got real comfortable, but then 6 does bedded underneath him. There was really no way to get up to him without busting those does, which would bust him. So I don't know if he'll stay there the remainder of the day, but I know where he's at right now, and if I am able to get a lot done and come back out for the evening hunt, Hopefully we'll see him come out of that bed and maybe get a shot at him. Beautiful day. It was colder this morning. It was 24 when I left the truck. Everything was frosted over. And we've had a couple of days of wind and rain and snow, and today it's colder but sunny, so I figured the deer would be moving, and they were. But like I said, I'm just out of time. So we'll head home, get some work done, see if we can sneak back out here tonight. Well, guys, if you can't shoot them, drown them. I shot this little buck up high and I hit him back. It wasn't a great shot. We've been tracking him. We watched him bed once. He bedded a second time, and that joker died in the reservoir. My son Caleb lost a deer who tried to cross the reservoir and drowned one year. And now I've got a second one down there. This is going to be a mess pulling him up out of here. I think we'll try to just drag him over here. There's a little bit of a flat spot. Quarter him up and then take him up from there. Seriously, guys, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, this is straight down. These things are so tough. And there he lays in the water. He is going to be so heavy trying to drag out of that water. I'm going to put this GoPro up because I'm carrying this rifle. I don't want to slip. Well, guys, I didn't film any of the cleaning or the quartering. We didn't have to gut it because we just quartered it. And man, it was straight down into the water. I think you did see a couple pictures of that. I was basically standing in the water for about half the time. Caleb helped me quarter it out, and we got it loaded in the back of the truck, and we're heading home. Gonna go clean up a little bit, wash my hands, and go get something to eat. Celebratory pizza dinner. I think we're going to call this the Polar Plunge Buck. That'll be the title on the video. Thanks for coming along, guys. Caleb still has his tag, so he's going to come out in the morning. Maybe we can get one more. Well, this video is going to be a little bit longer probably than most, but we want to wrap this up with the Minute on the Mountain, and also with the details for the 950 subscriber giveaway. We're at 952. I've been at 950 for a couple of days, so I'm going to just trust that we stay at 950 or higher. And I'll get you the details on that. But let's first do the Minute on the Mountain. We're up to the book of Judges in our tour through the Bible. This comes from Judges chapter 2, beginning in verse 7. The people served the Lord throughout the lifetime of Joshua and of the elders who outlived him and who had seen all the great things the Lord had done for Israel. Joshua, son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died at the age of 110. And they buried him in the land of his inheritance at Timnath-Heres in the hill country of Ephraim, north of Mount Gash. And here's what I want to point out, beginning in verse 10. After that whole generation had been gathered to their ancestors, another generation grew up who neither knew the Lord nor what he had done for Israel. It happened in a single generation. You know, there's so much in the Old Testament where the Israelites were commanded to tell their children of the things that God had done for them. And you see the importance of that. Within one generation of Joshua dying and all of the elders who had seen what God had done, when that generation died off, the next generation didn't follow the Lord. They went their own way. Now, even if we're intentional about teaching our kids to follow God and talking often of the things that he's done for us, there's no guarantee they'll follow him. But I can almost guarantee you they won't if we're not intentional. And I think we see the ripple effects of that in our culture right now. So just would encourage you, for those of you that are parents out there, we've got Thanksgiving coming up. Make sure during the month of November you are lifting up thankfulness and lifting up just proclamations of all the great things that God has done for you and your family. So that's Men on the Mountain, Judges chapter 2, beginning in verse 7. Check that out when you have some time. Okay, the details on the giveaway. We're going to give 3 prizes, and you're going to be able to comment on this video and on the next video if you would like to be entered into the drawing.
And if you comment on both those videos, you'll get 2 entries. If you share the video, or if you share the next video, that will get you an additional entry as well, if you'd be so kind as to share the video. Here are the 3 prizes that we're going to be giving away. Prize number 1, again, thank you to Dan at Southern Paddler for this, is the God's Country Outdoorsman devotional book, and then also an NIV Bible that's in Realtree camo. It's got really cool feel to the texture on that grip. So that's prize number 1, the devotional book and the NIV Bible. Prize number 2 is this power bank and hand warmer from Zippo. And I've never used this kind. It says that it gives 6 hours of heat. It's also a charging bank, so you can charge in your electronics and they can charge off of this. It has 3 different heat settings, a low, medium, and a high, and it's rechargeable. So you're going to get that along with a Minute on the Mountain beanie, so just in time for colder temps, this rechargeable hand warmer and the beanie. Then prize number 3 is kind of the more traditional fuel hand warmer that you fill with the little fuel. This one, it says it lasts up to 17 hours. I'm sure that's on the low setting, not on the high setting. I've given a couple of these away in the past, and the guys that have won and said they really liked them. And then that also comes with a Minute on the Mountain beanie. So prize 1, prize 2, prize 3. Again, to be eligible for the drawing, you just have to be subscribed to the channel and put a comment on this video. Any comment will do. And then put a comment on the next video. Any comment will do. That would give you 2 entries. And then lastly, then the video after that, excuse me, is when we'll actually draw the winner. So thanks so much for coming along on the deer hunt. Caleb ended up not going out the next day. He was battling kind of a stomach bug, and it just wasn't going to be good to be out on the mountain battling a stomach bug. So, you know, I shot that little buck, not a big buck at all, but it's definitely going to taste good. And again, we hunt primarily for the meat, not for the antlers. And it was great to spend time out on the mountain with him. Man, a lot of hunters this year, and a lot of hunters in that area. I've hunted that little spot the last 8 or 9 years, and I've never seen as many hunters as I did this year. So part of that's my fault, because I'm pretty open about where I hunt, and I've told quite a few guys where I hunt, and obviously if you keep doing that, eventually people are going to come check out your spot. So anyway, thanks so much for coming along, guys. God bless you. Thanks for all the support. Thanks so much for helping me get to 950. We'll do this giveaway, and then obviously after that, we'll kind of focus in on 1,000 and start that direction. Take care.